They were saying that he provoked it by not getting up. So you provoke somebody, so you not getting up, make it okay for somebody to put their hands on you. That's what they telling white people. This is what black people, pay attention. These white folks, they can come move you, they can physically touch you, and it's not a crime. I didn't expect for him to not be convicted, but murder in the first degree, that's not murder in the first degree. When they was deliberating, they was eating, bro. They ordered them some pizza, and they was having a party, because they had already made their minds up. When I heard the words all white jury, I knew they was about to try to fry this man, because I ain't never seen all white people come together for the fairness of any other group of people besides white people. Let's talk about it. This Karmelo Anthony case just ended, and some of the most ignorant voices on both sides were the loudest in the conversation. And I'm not just talking about the average person walking the streets. I'm talking about TV personalities. I'm talking about content creators. Everybody had an opinion built around bias, and barely anybody wanted to apply the same logic across the board. Now, I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off with this video, potentially every illogical person. But honestly, I don't give a shit. Okay? Anyway, I'm Jay with the Beard. Hit like, and if you're new here, hit subscribe. More subscribers would be nice. But if you're gonna be on that old bullshit, gone, bro. Just gone. Now, with this case being divided along racial lines, there was almost nowhere you could turn to get information where someone wasn't trying to sway public opinion. All major news outlets was pushing the narrative that Austin Metcalf was just this innocent victim, and Karmelo Anthony just woke up that morning looking for somebody to unalive. I've seen people argue that Karmelo Anthony saying, "Touch me and see what happens," justified being assaulted.
The biggest commonality between them all is that they all said Karmelo was the aggressor. They all said they were sitting under the tent and he walks up and just sits under there. Didn't say anything really to anybody. One person said that he shook hands with another teenager there, but even when he did that, he just sat down and wasn't talking to anyone. So all of them say, who was this kid? One described him as a random kid who just came down from the top of the bleachers, sat down. Questions started circulating like, who are you? What's your name? What are you doing here? And that's eventually when they say, Austin Metcalf stood up because he was looked at as a leader of the team, looked at as a team captain. He was the captain on the football team as a linebacker. And a lot of, there's a lot of translation between football and track athletes. So they're all kind of one big family. And they say he stood up and all of them said that Austin started off calmly. Hey, man, what's going on? You shouldn't really be here. Just get off from under the tent. Not in any aggressive way. Everything was calm. And they said Karmelo was just like not responding, just saying no, or if you want me to move, you're going to have to make me move. Just, being real adamant about not leaving the tent. And so eventually they said Austin started getting a little frustrated. People, other people under the tent started getting frustrated. Others were chiming in. Some of the people on the witness stand, some of the students testified to that they were chiming in also. Like, what are you doing here, man? Like, and none of them said any cussing was going on. They asked specifically, were there any profanity, any cussing? They're like, not that I remember. So maybe it wasn't a nasty altercation, but just a frustrating one. And so the students did admit that Austin started getting a little heated. Karmelo started getting a little heated. But then they started talking about Karmelo's hand in the bag. And then that all of them said that same thing that we've heard, Chris, the phrase, touch me and find out.
Yeah, they're trying to hide something, bro. They're trying to hide something. To say that a kid who didn't approach another kid is the aggressor, yeah, they're trying to hide something. I definitely don't feel like he was the aggressor. I feel like he took things too far. Again, I don't agree with the stabbing. But to say that he was the aggressor is just, bro, it's not facts. It's not facts. He didn't approach no one. He didn't put his hands on anyone first. You have to give Austin Metcalf, I keep saying his name wrong. You have to give Austin Metcalf some blame here. You got to give him some blame here, bro. And this was all being pushed by white media. See, one thing white people try to do when you call them out for being racist is try to use reverse psychology. See, white people do sneaky things like get all white jurors, and then they'll say that black people make everything about race. We knew the moment y'all said all white jurors, y'all was setting this kid up to be thrown under the prison. Now, white people, when you remove all bias from this, what Austin Metcalf did, by definition, is assault. So this is the definition for assault. The intentional act of causing a person to reasonably fear that they are about to be harmed or subjected to unwanted physical contact. Unwanted physical contact. Okay? You can Google it yourself. These are just facts. Which leads me to a question. Why can't people just tell the truth and state the facts?
Austin looked at him and said, "Oh, you don't have anything in that bag," like calling his bluff, pretty much. He had his hand in the bag and said, "Oh, you don't have anything in there. We live in Frisco. You aren't going to do anything." And they say that's when Austin walked up and, that's where the inconsistency comes in. Was it a hard push? Was it a one-handed push? Whatever it happened, they say that's when the stabbing happened so fast. And another thing they all said, Chris, was that it was a little bit of a commotion, but they all said they did not even expect a fight to happen.
It sounds like he was being a bully. He was taking things to his own hands. Even if he was told, like, hey, okay, if someone come in this tent that don't belong in this tent, you kick them out. If the person is not listening, you go get authority. It's not up to you to put your hands on somebody. So when you go and say that this is not a race issue and fail to acknowledge what your side has done, you're being disingenuous. You're throwing stones and hiding your hand when responded to appropriately. This kid broke the law, and saying gentle or light shove does not make what he did more innocent. You got people like Jake Lang at the Chud the Builder hearing protesting that this man is innocent because he did not strike first. It's all freedom of speech. But then turn around and argue that Austin Metcalf is innocent after he approached someone and became physical over words.
According to our Cody Thomas inside the courtroom, the jury is heading into the courtroom. Karmelo is looking very serious but expressionless. Defense attorney has his arm around him. The tension is clearly high in here, not verbal, but you can feel it. That is our Cody Thomas sending notes to us because, again, if you're just joining us, there are no cameras allowed in this case, but it has been watched by people across the country and specifically for those living in the Collin County, Texas area. So we'll wait with bated breath until Cody types again, but the scene has been set. The jury has been called for. We do know what comes next. Guilty of murder. This is Cody Thomas. The verdict is guilty of murder, the top charge against Karmelo Anthony.
Wow.
So,
wow.
wow. Yeah, wow. Indeed. We'll watch the crowd outside. They will start to get this information momentarily. And if we could keep that camera up on the outside there, because it'll just be a matter of seconds before this crowd reacts.
Wow.
There's a live look outside the courthouse as people have gathered. Again, if you're just joining us, Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder, the top charge in this case after just 3 hours of deliberation. Sonny, besides which a lot of us are feeling, thoughts?
I was not expecting the top charge. I really was thinking that they would see manslaughter, still guilty, but manslaughter, different sentencing, but guilty of murder. So, that's heavy.
Wow.
And I hope everyone just does not seem
right,
like
man.
everyone's going to be
That's not right.
It seems like we're going to have a problem there.
This is dumb.
You could see the...
This is dumb.
What is dumb, Michael?
I'm sorry, Ted. This is just dumb. This is stupid. I can't believe that this jury came back in 3 hours with guilty. I'm totally stunned. On top of that, this judge as well, not letting cameras in the courtroom. I mean, good job. Good job, Your Honor. Really, really, really good job. You handled it really, really well. You have this community that's about to get lit on fire. You don't allow cameras to go into a courtroom. The community already believes that this kid is being railroaded. And then look at what happened. Your jury came back within 3 hours for a guilty guilty verdict for a kid who used a 4-inch knife one time, didn't use it multiple times. Was it wrong? Yes. But was it murder, like beyond a reasonable doubt? No. And was it murder beyond a reasonable doubt within 3 hours? Absolutely not. This is insane. This is dumb.
Cody Thomas saying that there are tears on.
And he didn't allow cameras in the courtroom for a reason, bro. This shit was all a setup from the jump. It was all a setup. It was to ensure that this boy did not get a fair penalty. That's what it was, bro. And the judge is friends with the son, with the dad. I think his name Justin Metcalf. He's friends with Justin Metcalf. So, I mean, bro, this was a setup. I didn't look for this to be fair anyway, but this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. I could just tell how they was painting this dude in the media. They were saying that he provoked it by not getting up. So you provoke somebody. So you not getting up, make it okay for somebody to put their hands on you. This is what they telling white people. This is what black people, pay attention. Black people, any melanated person, any non-white person, this is what they're telling you. They're telling you that it's okay for a white person to put their hands on you if you don't do what they tell you to do. I'd be damned, though. I'd be damned. Don't try me. I'd be damned. But this is basically what they're telling you, bro. They're telling you that these white folks, they can come move you, they can physically touch you, and it's not a crime. It's not a crime. But when you do it, it's a crime. If you look like you want to do something, if you're a black person, you look like you may commit a crime. Bro, they can shoot you. They can kill you. We just saw Cyrus Belton run away and get chased down and gunned down. This man never stole anything. This kid never stole anything. He ran away from the situation. They chased him down and alleged he had a gun. I don't even believe that, because the people who said he had a gun also are the people who thought he stole something too. So could it be that they just miscalculate every damn thing when it comes down to a black person? I didn't expect for him to not be convicted, but murder in the first degree, that's not murder in the first degree.
So the decision making now, and we'll wait till Cody updates us whether the jury is going to stay and do the sentencing or if it'll be the judge. Boy, if I'm the defense, I'm getting that jury as far away from this courthouse as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, 1,000%. I'm not letting this jury touch. I mean, I'm questioning the jury. I'm asking them, how did you reach your verdict? How did you reach it so quickly? What happened? It was a 4-inch knife. You used it one time.
They reached it quickly because they had already had their minds made up, bro. Their minds was made up. Like, their minds was made up before the case was even closed. They came into this with their minds made up. That's why they was chosen. When they was deliberating, they was eating, bro. They ordered them some pizza and they was having a party because they had already made their minds up. It was never going to be a fair trial. They never wanted a fair trial. They didn't want no possibility of this man getting off or this kid getting off. They wanted no possibility of it. That's why they removed all the black jurors off the trial.
Quickly. What happened? It was a 4-inch knife. He used it one time. He was pushed. I'm not saying that it was right, but what are you doing? How did you get this verdict? I'd want to know. My whole identity as a defense attorney would be in question, right? I'm questioning my identity right now, and I have nothing to do with this case. How could you come back like that? I would be enraged. I'm enraged right now. This is very upsetting. And then on top of it, to compound it, this dumb judge didn't allow cameras in the courtroom. What was your wisdom? What were you thinking? How you put on a robe? Are you that much of an imbecile that you won't let cameras in the courtroom in a case like this? This is not a rape case. This is something different. This is something that's clearly the whole community is enraged, and you knew that before the trial started. So, I mean, this is very upsetting.
You can see the reaction. The crowd outside, of course, has received the news that.
No, this is facts, bro. It's definitely a high-profile case. I understand, like, the tension around the case, but it's definitely not one of those cases to where you don't let a camera in the courtroom. They just wanted to dehumanize this guy, bro. They took him through the media, dehumanizing him. You barely got a chance to see him. So If we're going off everything people are saying, they're saying, oh, this was his emotions. This were their emotions. Yeah, it's going to make people judge him in a different light because they're not letting us see what's going on in the courtroom. Now, do I agree with Karmelo Anthony stabbing Austin Metcalf? No. And I don't think no logical person would. But see, this is what happens when tribalism sneaks through the cracks. People lose the ability to think consistently. The reality is that both appear to have acted impulsively. And unfortunately, that's something that teenagers do. One kid initiated and escalated the altercation, and the other kid took it too far. We should all be able to acknowledge both of those things at the same time. Was it self-defense? Yeah. But proportionality matters as well. And that's why I think the verdict was wrong. So yeah, I do agree that he was defending himself, but I don't agree with the stabbing. Manslaughter would have been the correct charge, but these people acted out of racism. And that's because all of these people are more concerned with tallying up wins and losses for their side. The all-white jury selection was never about being fair. It was about creating a team that would ensure unjust punishment. Okay? And I think we all knew that. When have white people ever came together to judge black people fairly? White people? Not to mention that we're living in a very, very racist time, bro. And this is Texas. So there we go. 50 more years of racism. This was like white people Groundhog's Day. They out here celebrating, but a child lost his life. So while you're celebrating, remember that you're celebrating death. I'm pretty sure that child would have traded away what you call a victory for life. A young man lost his life and another young man is going to spend years of his life behind bars. And yet you got people out here celebrating and saying all type of evil, hateful shit to each other. This is a tragedy, okay? And everybody needs to acknowledge that. Anyway, let me know how y'all feel about this down in the comments. If you stuck around this long, you're already part of the gang now. Drop a hype if you're on mobile, and I'll catch you on the next one.